Welcome to this week's Prop Show. It's the craziest one.
The busiest one, yes.
Who have we got this week? We've got Andy and Tim from Yomdel.
Hey!
We've got Ishmael from ProspectEngine.
Hey!
And the star guest, Brexit Secretary Simon.
Legend in his own lifetime.
Roll the titles!
Hi, welcome back. And yes, busy studio today with some big in the name games. Big in the game names.
Big in the game names. We've got the lads in from Yomdel. They brought us some new socks.
Hey!
Happy days.
What do you do with your ones?
We'll give them all out. Give them all out.
Is which one the best?
It's not a question that needs to be asked, Chris.
Well,
It's a question that people want to know.
do you know what? It's a question that we have asked and answered.
Yes.
We'll run the VT.
Yeah, roll VT.
The biggest question in estate agency in 2019 isn't high street versus online. It isn't pay up front model versus pay on results. It isn't Purple Bricks versus Yopa. It isn't Brexit. The biggest question is this: Yomdel socks or Moneypenny socks? This is the big question that Watkin will answer. And let's find out which ones are the best. So here we got some Yomdel ones. Nice colours. Really, really nice. Okay, nice tags. Oh, I'm loving that. See, it's got there, goes well with the eyes. Then we also have the Moneypenny socks. Quite nice here. Oh, look at that, and you get a little embroidery there. In terms of which one the best, well, to be honest with you, I think they both offer excellent foot coverage capabilities, and to be honest with you, I'd be easy on either one. Chris Watkin answering the questions that you, the UK estate agency industry, want to ask.
Well, that's conclusive. Not
Conclusive. Not conclusive. That's all right.
Really?
But Sam, if you're watching, please send us some socks. We can give them to our guests.
Okay, but everyone who comes on the show gets a pair of Yomdel socks, so we'd like to.
Thank you.
Like the bottle of wine you get given back to you.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
If you could give them back to us. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
That'll last us a few weeks.
Brought some supplies.
Chris, you can wash them. They do wash very well.
Well, by all accounts, as you say, the decision is which colour and which colour's the best. Anyway, Chris, what are we on the show this week? On the show.
Well, we're going to talk to all these people.
Excellent.
It's not about me, or you, or Matt.
Isn't it?
No, it's about these lads.
Okay. Well, from the top, should we put the silly hat on and let's go for it?
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Let's ask the Prop Show. So firstly, too many suppliers.
We have suppliers in
We've got a lot
the
of
room.
suppliers.
A lot of suppliers.
This has got awkward. It's got awkward fast. So, are there too many suppliers?
Well, Graham Locke, who's friend of the show,
Yeah.
Hi,
Hi,
Graham.
Graham.
And our friend-
Consultants assemble!
It's like it's
Morphin time.
So yeah.
I tell you what, there's more consultants than there are grains of sand on the
Okay.
beach. About 700 estate and letting agency suppliers.
700.
How many of them are PropTech?
Probably all of them, because we're all in prop tech now, aren't we?
Bring them to me!
Right. Okay. So there being 700 though across a variety of
Yeah.
of guest services. Are there too many?
Yeah, there are. Exactly the same way as there is too many apps on your phone.
Yeah.
But what I would argue is there aren't enough useful ones. So there's a lack of choice out there in some really key areas. Not least, I think, in my old CRM world, I think the act of acquisition has actually narrowed down the amount of choice, and I think that's not a particularly good thing for the market in general. But elsewhere, it's absolutely there are simply too many.
So which areas are oversubscribed in your Yomdel?
PropTech is the one area that is oversubscribed as far as I'm
But-
concerned. It's an
but
overused
quantify.
term. Well,
Awful word.
yeah,
Quantify.
awful word.
Quantify.
There are a lot of solutions out there desperately in search of problems. And these problems just
So
do
says
not
Mr.
exist.
I didn't know you were at homework. Give him an apple.
and it's worse than that, because these people are going in and trying to sell things to people who are not qualified or don't have the experience to make the right judgments.
Yeah.
So 700 suppliers, far too many. 200, probably too many.
Right.
What's important is how the suppliers can then work together to deliver the maximum value to their clients.
Yeah.
And that's where we actually have a responsibility
Yes.
to help people understand what they need.
Yes.
Not to be distracted by the shiny
So
things.
just sum up Yomdel in 2 or 3 sentences. What do you do?
Without the word omni-platform, solution, utter
But what,
products.
There aren't any other words, Chris. That's unfair.
Order! Hang on, I've got a gavel. Hang on.
Yeah, where's the gavel?
Where's the gavel?
The gavel down there.
There's a gavel. Who's it from?
SDL.
SDL. Thanks, SDL.
Other audio firms are available.
Okay. Okay, so just give us a brief summary of what Yomdel do as a service.
So what we do as a business is we're a business growth partner.
Yeah.
We provide live chat services. We also,
now we're getting somewhere.
we also provide mystery shopping. And
Yes.
what we're doing, as we touched on, we're demonstrating the value that we're adding to our clients, which
Perfect.
is important.
Perfect. Well, I mean, the difference is, I think, between, I guess the broader agency, the broader suppliers, and yourselves is, you're sort of trusted partners for some big players, aren't you? So
Yes.
you're at the Guild conference, you're at Finer Countries conference, and you also make awesome socks, bonus. But so clearly your platform is something that people are engaging with, and is probably not one of those that it's one we hear a lot of.
Well, if I can actually, let me give you. Shut up. Let me give you this. I'm going to see you. All right.
I'm going to throw the green one.
Okay. The magic thing with these guys is that they do live chat. There's nothing fancy new about live chat, but they actually have teams that actually understand estate agents and the questions they need to ask.
Yeah.
Because I often think these live chats are up the box. And the average length of time that these guys have on these chat, the chat things.
That pops up when you come on the webpage, yeah.
12 to 14 minutes.
For a successful lead, for a well-qualified lead.
But that's how people are. Like
And
that shift. That shift is how people are engaging.
Absolutely.
Of course it is, and it's responsive, and it's reactive, and it's now, and that's
That's the key thing.
But it's giving
things.
something.
Yeah.
It's giving that web visitor is getting something.
Yes.
Before you're asking for anything
Yes,
back.
yes.
And that's where
That's a big
people
message.
are
Crucial,
missing out at the moment.
'Cause that's
There's a
what
key
estate
thing.
agents
There's
do.
one thing I'd just like to stress here is that you only have one opportunity to make a good first impression.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I
and
wear
these
pants.
days, and
That's why I'm screwed.
yeah, never mind. Yeah.
I've never noticed, Whaley, to be honest. Oh, unanimous decision.
but then that leads into the second sort of slightly sort of more serious point, which makes us different to a lot of other suppliers, is that our clients are trusting us to manage that first impression on their behalf.
Yeah.
And that's a huge responsibility,
Awesome.
and not something that we take lightly at all. We have to get it right.
Chat's like automation, though, isn't it? If you do it well, it's an absolute godsend, and it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
If you do automation wrong, for example, it's
Yeah.
absolutely you've lost that opportunity.
If it's not relevant,
Yeah.
it can put people off. If there are delays, we talk in blocks of 15 seconds.
Yeah.
15
Like
seconds.
my exes.
Because there's plural there. But if you think, the majority of people these days are engaging on a mobile phone, on a smartphone.
Yes,
In fact, they don't use the telephone anymore.
No.
Only about 70% of people use their phones as telephones. They use them for all these other
Everything else,
things,
yeah.
and they communicate in different ways. Different
So remote
channels.
control to people's lives.
It does.
Indeed,
yes.
yes.
So
You said that already today.
There's a guy.
Nice guy, I like
want
that.
something.
But you have such a brief moment to not only give people what they need, either respond very, very quickly, but you've also got to be credible, you've got to be intelligent, you've got to be friendly, and if you do that and you bring the people into your world, they'll stick with you.
Fantastic. So, Yomdel, if you're interested in finding out a bit more about what Yomdel do, you can find that information. Hang on.
Yomdel.
Here.
Yomdel.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, so Ishmael,
Yes.
are there too many suppliers?
I think there probably may be in that prop tech realm. I mean, we are much more of an analog style company.
What do ProspectEngine do?
So we are a outbound sales service that we bolt onto existing estate agencies and work through their historic data, or in fact lead manage. So give immediate response to inbound inquiries, whether they are online valuation requests, Zoopla valuations, Rightmove, and give an immediate response and then build a really robust call plan to make sure that they're getting
All right, so
persistency of
people
call.
aren't losing You're such a child. Look at him.
Yeah.
Order.
Order.
But, yeah. Classic.
You had your turn, Andy.
But yeah, so
How does yours work from a lay point of view?
So,
Like, do I ring you, or does the agent ring you and it gets rerouted?
No, so we work directly through the agent CRMs. It's completely white labelled, so we are the agent in question we're working with, and we're the sort of the first response, and then we give that continuity of contact over time, making sure that they get a really robust call plan.
I think the key thing is, though, one of the key things, it's not just an outbound services where you're being very polite and everything else. This is a bit of a hybrid with those services, because actually Ish's team uses the CRM company of the company as well, which makes a massive difference in terms of the information you've got.
So they capture all that data.
Absolutely. The quality of our notes are, are almost like War and Peace. It is really content rich. I mean, we had a cracking appointment booked in just last week, which subsequently listed. And the way that I train my guys is try and pick up on personal points during the conversation. So if there's a dog yapping in the background, find out what type of dog it is. Find out what type of biscuits the dog likes. Get your valuer to go around with some gravy bones. Is this, the beagle? Things like that are attention to detail, and that personal touch will set you apart from your competitors. At initial.
But the problem you're solving here is that not just in property, but businesses in general are sitting on so many opportunities that they just either can't recognise themselves or they can't be bothered.
Crucially, you've said the problem that you are solving. So actually, there is value.
No, absolutely.
I think this is where...
Go for the second question.
Prospecting. Why are people so bad at it? Ishmael.
Hashtag not planned show.
Diplomacy on DEFCON 1 at the moment. Look, certain agents can be bad at prospecting, but I think that term bad is probably the wrong analogy. I think it is down to trying to task a valuer, let's say, to make 150 phone calls a day to historic data. You may as well be doing your
But in addition to that, bear with order. I feel like start the comments. But in addition to that, do you think they're guilty of not just ignoring their existing data, but also Rightmove generating lots of stuff?
The lead management. I mean,
52% of these guys.
Stop nicking my statistics. I was going to say. 52% of
It doesn't matter who made them up.
And out of the 48% that do get answered, they're answered within 3 hours. Now, 3 hours to me is poor, but in the grand scheme of things, I think 3 hours isn't that bad. I thought it would be more like 3 days.
But it is only 42% of them.
Well, absolutely. And what you find is a lot of agents are complaining about the costs for these portals. Well, if you're not working those leads the way that you should initially, you may as well be.
So I mean, people on average spend how much do they, Chris, with the Rightmove ish?
£950
ish.
You have to be careful when you say ish.
Yeah. Sorry. 900, So 900 odd quid is basically what 950 quid they're spending, and a lot of that money is just being, I guess, wasted. The prices have gone. The prices have gone up. But if they were using those leads, surely that becomes a more valuable service.
On average, our analysis tells us no matter the lead source, whether that's an online valuation, whether that's organic traffic from your website requesting a valuation, it takes between 4 and 5 calls to engage with any new lead. So unless your estate agent, is calling any new lead at least 4 to 5 times, we work with some fantastic agents. They're on the lead within 5 to 10 minutes, but they might get 1 call or maximum 3 calls. That you're cutting it way too short.
So I'm going to answer this. Why are agents so bad at it? Because no one likes to be told to sod off so often.
That's true, isn't it?
And it's an absolute fact of life. Is if you can't get into, that is a really tough thing. Ish's team have incredibly thick skins because that's all they do all day. They specialise.
Yes.
Specialisation brings the productivity.
Mr. Watkin, go.
Most valuers, in terms of their personality type, are more people as opposed to systems-oriented people, and they're very outward-going as opposed to inward-going.
It's the salespeople.
It's salespeople, generally, yes.
Yeah.
Salespeople want to feel loved and wanted. That is what they generally want. A bit like you, Whaley.
So much. That's me!
Say my name again.
They want to be the centre of attention.
Good luck in this room.
Okay. They want to be the centre of attention. They want everyone to love them. They're not very good at listening. They're just waiting for everyone to talk so they can talk.
What did you say?
Exactly. And their biggest... The thing is, because they want to be loved, their biggest fear is being, how can we best describe it?
Rejection. Yeah.
And if you think about it, ringing up cold call saying, "Hello, Mrs. Would you like to put your house on the market?" Is that ringing
We should
up
always
your
use Yomdel
greatest
socks
fear?
as a phone, actually.
We've got to remember
what you
this is not a cold call.
No,
it's not.
this is
We don't do any cold calling services. They are warm leads.
It's not about you. Okay.
It's in the name of course it's about it.
It's question 4.
We'll come quick. The thing is this. Sorry.
Cheers, I am sold for this, by the way. This is
Again,
great.
they're coming on the show soon.
I'm sold, are they?
Yeah, they
They
are.
can bring us a new gal. We can have one each.
Yeah. The important thing here to remember is that the best people that I find who are very good at cold calling are people, but more reserved. They don't tend to be attracted to estate agents.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
They don't like change, but if you give them a structure and you give them support, they'll just hit the phone calls. And remember, our friend of the show, Perry.
We do.
Yes,
Hi, Barry.
Hi. We're working with the wonderful Perry at the moment.
Nice.
Fantastic
Okay,
business.
Okay, Perry's got lead jive.
Jive!
Everyone
do the lead jive. He's got it. You kill that, by the way.
Lead Gen 5, and he is an S type. He is what we call an S type person using the
Drives a
disc brake
Jaguar.
model. So, yeah, that's it. So basically, estate agents, your best valuers are absolutely appalling at this generation, and therefore you need people.
Yes.
Plug alert to get the plug.
So if you're interested in finding a bit more about prospecting,
what tips have you got? What's good?
why don't we have one? Why don't we have a top tip from each?
I would say, well,
Get off your phone.
Staring between my legs, if you don't mind.
I would say there's a couple.
That was my top tip.
Okay,
The black hole that is Whaley.
okay. So top tips.
Let's talk about pre-call. So using your CRM to its full potential. In call management, so next call, follow-up calls.
Yeah.
And making sure that every record has the most relevant note attached to it. So following the market appraisal, make sure that you get healthy content-rich notes in that CRM so you can then make an informed approach to the follow-up call.
With your gravy bones, the software.
Absolutely,
Awesome.
And I think one of the big things to remember is to add value to people who aren't in the moment ready to rent or to sell.
Yeah.
So rather than saying, do you mind if I call you in 12 months' time to see if your position has changed?
Yeah.
Add a value call. Do you mind if I call you in 6 months' time to give you an update on how your house is performing in the current market? The difference in reception is massive. So if you're giving value calls,
people don't want to be sold to.
So top tip
They
one.
don't want to be sold to, but
Top
they
tip
want
one
to
then
get some.
from Ish is give value.
absolutely.
Simon.
It's echoing that really, coming at it slightly from the other side. It sounds so obviously some of the work with some of the best agents in not just the UK and around the world, and actually, there was customization in our software, obviously the Reapit software, but it was essentially the same thing.
Yes.
And the only thing that defined how the best were using it and how people in the middle were using it was their sheer aptitude and willingness to work it, to do it effectively there. Some people would still keep it all up here and act surprised when somebody walked out the door. and you lose all the information.
Yeah, well, you said a couple of years ago at Arla that it's a Ferrari product and people are using it like a Fiesta. I remember you saying it. It's like,
good knowledge.
Estate agents end up becoming quite insular. You know, if you're working with a 1 or 2 branch agent where you've got 2 valuers in each, you know, they don't feel like they need to be updating their CRM system because most of the knowledge is in their head. So, you know, you could say, well, how did the MA go last week with Mr. Swift with 3 Acacia Avenue? And they know. But when we come on board, there has to be some transparency so everyone knows what the current situation
From
is.
From a Yomdel perspective then, what does that look like for you?
Because these guys almost give leads. They give leads on a plate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, a Yomdel lead is obviously coming with a full transcript. So a lot of what Ish is talking about there, our operators have already extracted. But the important thing is we're listening and we're developing that relationship. We're not selling. We're not trying to gather any data. So it's being patient, being, you know, looking at the longer game rather than saying, I've got to make a sale today. It's about developing and cultivating a relationship.
Awesome. Great.
For me, one last thing for me, very, very simple thing. It's one of my big mantras. Think like the customer.
Absolutely.
Everyone in this room, every agent, you're all consumers, you're all customers. Think what you want when you're going out there to do something and apply that to the person that you're trying to engage with.
Mr. Watkin.
Some of my clients, they actually get a room full of people and just have a power hour, and then you just feed off each other's energy.
Nice.
It's a lonely old game.
Cool.
And put it in the bloody diary. Just do it.
You'll get Brown, Stevie Brown.
That's right.
Matt, should we pop over to Edgeware, see what our man on the ground says?
Steve? Okay, what are you saying, Steve?
Steve says! Always call your customer back.
Thanks, Steve.
Cheers, Steve.
So...
Power when you watch it back.
I think we've covered off prop tech, really. So let's find out. Online versus high street.
Well, about a month ago, Purple Bricks announced that things weren't looking so rosy
and then an e-move disappeared.
Yeah, well, that was a couple of months ago, bless him. And I said Russell's in the paper a couple of weeks ago as well, that's him. In the Daily Mail.
Propaganda.
Well, Daily Mail.
No, that's his business.
That's his new business.
I'm not just shouting out random words. Chicken,
A comment on the Daily Mail, clearly.
property's huggy bear. This is how it works.
Daily Mail. Propaganda! It's just it's nervous tick he's got.
Okay, so, I mean, the first question is, does it matter whether you're high street or online?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter if you're high street or online. Because again, thinking like the customer, I don't think that most people really understand the difference between what a high street estate agent is and an online, because they don't really know what an estate agent does.
No, but it matters. The reason why I disagree there is it matters to you because of the cost base. What does my head in is people are talking about the online agents really and how they've impacted, and yet at 5% of the market they shouldn't be impacted. Where they have had it is the drag effect. So they've affected, let's say, 20% of the bottom of the market, traditional high street agents who are dropping their pants with no ability and no cost base to do it, and that's where the vast majority of the marketplace has been affected by.
But that's the same in any sector where there's a disruptive technology, disruptive play comes in. The ones at the bottom are not able to change and evolve with the opportunities or the challenges. They are the ones that are going to fall by the wayside. It's the other ones who actually, back to my bit about the customer, thinking like the customer. I said a story to Chris earlier. Speaking to one of our clients, and he said he was speaking to this lady who was looking for a new house. He said, "Where are you looking?" Thinking she would say the area. And she said, "Well, on Rightmove and Purple Bricks, aren't I? Because that's what you do." And she didn't know the difference between Purple Bricks and Purple Bricks. And so you're dealing quite often with a relatively low level of knowledge about how things are structured. And if you go into a person and say, well, we're a high street agent or not, they don't know the difference in terms of the service. They don't know the model, they don't understand.
I think you could look at that on two sides, because I think that the likes of Purple Bricks have probably educated the general public into what a state agency is all about, really.
Presence,
it used to be shrouded in...
So you think they've helped the industry?
I definitely think they have.
Yeah.
Without shadow of a doubt.
It has brought down the smoke and mirrors.
Ignore the fake reviews, the race to the bottom in terms of fees.
Yeah.
The public has overwhelmingly voted with some of the technology that the online agents have. And once you can distance yourself, things like chat, for example, but you could say
24 hours
key dynamic there. So they have the way that what I really like is that actually the online agents were really clear in what they were doing, and they forced traditional agents to actually do that as well. And there's definitely more customer service coming in and improved customer service from everyone now.
As a result.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, good. Well, we're in Telford a couple of weeks ago with Simon from Belvoir.
Simon, hi.
He's moved off the high street, saved an absolute fortune,
Darren
moved
Coe
into
did that.
a serviced
Darren,
office block just
Special
outside the town centre.
Yeah.
Zero cost to his business with people not popping in.
Yeah.
Like, he spent 20 grand on the office. It all looks Belvoir when you walk in, but it's more secure and get staff parking. If a client wants to come in, they don't have to look for parking. It's just, it's all round easier.
It's changing, isn't it?
Well, Humberts have pulled everyone.
And the website is a branch anyway, so you could argue that everybody's online now.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah, of course.
Your part about the top there about how too many suppliers. I saw something just on the generic high street, and they estimated, based against other Western European countries, that we have around 25% too many stores, too many shops on the high street, and that rings true, doesn't it? It's not just agents you feel that there's too much of there, and it maybe that's just the way that the ecosystem works out there as well, and the most adaptable will survive.
But the most adaptable, they could actually, by thinking about their business model, they could do things an awful lot cheaper. And I give an example of an agent just down the road from where I live. Christmas before last, they closed for 3 weeks to have the office redecorated. In fact, it went on for 4 weeks. They put a sign in the window, didn't actually even list their website address, just said business as usual from this number, but no one would go there. When they finally put everything back in place, it looked exactly the same. Same furniture, same pictures on the wall. They put a new bit of wallpaper on one wall. But essentially, they had 4 guys working in there throughout Christmas. It cost them thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds for negligible impact. And when you go past there, there's still no one ever in there.
No.
And for that kind of investment,
business that actually is obtained from actual walk-ins, I would
minimal now.
I would agree. I mean, it depends in the area.
So I can talk about that. So one that we did some research, and of course, overall against Reaper, the amount of walk-ins across the state engine absolutely plummeted, and so we, on the face of it, said, "Well, that's pretty crap, isn't it? You might as well give up on that." What we then jumped into, because of a brilliant ex-sales director of Reaper, we looked in and then actually looked at the business that came from that, though. And what was interesting there, though, was if you are actually willing to, you make the decision to go into an office, you're serious and you are far more likely to deliver business. So the value of it is far better.
Aside from the actual physical walk-ins, though, and I do notice these sort of things when I'm walking around towns, you do see people actively stopping and looking in the windows at property. And when they're closed, you do see them interacting with the screens, with the QR codes and all that sort of stuff. So whilst there's not necessarily the walk-in trade, the visibility must have.
It was. Well, it's funny enough, we were doing that as an exercise for Samsung, who were putting those things in the windows.
And what was the result of that?
Well, I mean, plenty of companies, not too far from here, Pygott and Chrome, went and put them in every single one, and, the amount of out-of-hours activity, as it will be echoed, I know this for a fact already, with chat, isn't it? Yeah. There are some people that clearly don't sleep out there at all.
No, but 50% of all the chats that we handle are outside of standard business.
Yeah, because they're at work themselves.
Well, also they're at work as a social thing. When it suits them and they're commuting on the train.
The modern-day consumer is looking for is that immediate response, anytime, day or night. I think the traditional values or the values of a traditional estate agent would be, well, if you're really serious about selling your home, then you take time off through the week to actually have a valuation carried out. The consumer doesn't want that nowadays. They are.
Well, it's the culture of now, isn't it? Everybody wants something delivered today, and tomorrow is 24 hours too late.
Yeah, it's very risky thinking you know your client base as well and being certain about it without actually looking at the stats behind it.
Yes,
interesting. Sam Mitchell, who used to be big in the game at Rightmove, said that he went to one of the recent conferences. I think it was the ANEA one conference, and he said the room was full of white-haired,
oh yes, I read that,
white-haired old gentlemen, and probably, do you think we as an industry are bosses of that age? Naturally, they're going to be that age, but there's a disconnect between that and how they think the real world
Look
works.
at who the people are coming through now. You mentioned Perry, but there's people like Luke St Clair over at Knightsbridge, Andy Overman. He's wrong about Brexit, but everything else about his business. There is a next generation of people coming through who are genuinely. The thing I love about Luke St Clair is a lot of people go to Australia, see Alex, see the people come over here, they talk the talk, and then they do nothing about it. Luke St Clair has changed his entire model of the business around. So apart from doing auctions, and I think that's a fantastic, that's a big thumbs up to someone who is disrupting his own business.
Oh, completely. Well, he's just taken time out of the business to do videos and everything else.
Videos was going to play into your arms. That's absolutely own your area.
We do videos, yes.
Become the face of your place. Who taught him? Hi, Luke. Awesome. Well,
he's teaching us things now, though. I tell you, also taught us. Yeah, well, yes, he is. He's teaching the other farmers.
He's teaching other people. Yeah.
You were like patient zero.
There you go. Have we anything else?
No. Well, talking about becoming the face of your place. One of our good friends in Cheshire, Ian Story's got a fantastic new TV show called Cheshire TV. So let's just show them the titles from that, just for a bit of fun.
57,000 views.
76,000 views.
Wow.
Really? Wow.
First four episodes.
In what period?
In four episodes. By the time this comes out, another 3 or 4 will have gone out. But after his first 4 episodes, 76,000 interactions.
Really?
And how many of them was F5? Because I know it is on all mine.
That's advancing on the digital mayor concept. That's looking at a load of stuff that Luke's done, taking it one step further with some professional production, and just making it really central. Like Lewis Thorogood in Broom, So thanks a million. So thanks to our show sponsors, One Dome for these.
One Dome.
Cheers, One Dome, for the glasses, and thanks for the subs.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Cheers. Yomdels. So if you want to find out a bit more about Yomdel, please visit this link here. And if you want to find a bit more about ProspectEngine, visit here. If you want to find out a bit more about Simon Whale, just Google Simon Whale. Simon's fantastic consultancy, Kerfuffle It.
Kerfuffle It. It's going to become a verb.
It's becoming a verb. So that's it. That's PropShow. Thanks ever so much for watching. Really appreciate it. So for everyone here at our TV studios in Grantham, it's a massive show!